He
Oh,
uh, uh,
Good luck. All the best.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Hello, everybody. My name is Stephanie Urbina Jones, and I am so excited to be here today to share about this epic, life-changing, life-transforming, and informing author's journey that we are taking to Peru, August the 22nd through September the 4th, to co-create a new narrative for leaders and teachers and beings on the planet right now at this evolutionary time. The book that we're going to be coming together to create is called Shaman Heart. We are the ones we've been waiting for, you guys. I am sure most of y'all know that we are in this evolutionary time on the planet. Our co-creator, co-leader of this book, Jorge Luis Delgado, along with Jeremy Pager, who's with us here today, talks about how we are at this time going from the nighttime to the daytime, to the sunrise of humanity. This is the rebirth of the new earth. And we are those people. We are the ones we've been waiting for, the storytellers of our time, here to tell and create a new narrative to guide each other, to guide our hearts, to guide our children, to guide all of us together. How do we do it? How do we make it through these hard times? How can we see them as this rebirth, and that it's messy, but that the light is coming and that we are the light of the new day, y'all? So we're here to celebrate the beginning of this book, of this narrative, and we're here to invite those change makers, those way showers, those rainbow warriors of our time to step forward and to join us on this journey. We're going to be going to Peru, being led with Jorge Luis Delgado, who is just an amazing Incan mystic, shaman, storyteller, businessman that walks between the worlds. Jeremy Pager, who is an amazing Toltec teacher, co-founder of Freedom Folk and Soul, and along with our publisher who is here today, Laura DiFranco, who is the head of Brave Healer Productions. She's an amazing writer, creator, visionary that we are leading this journey with. It is a 6-month journey, y'all. From the moment we get on our Zoom call to pray in ceremony and intent at the beginning of August, to when we assemble our calendars for the next 6 months with Laura, to the 2-week journey to the Sacred Valley, to Machu Picchu, to Cusco, to Lake Titicaca, said to be the birthplace of the children of the sun. We will be doing initiations and ceremonies every single day, ripening our hearts, our minds to the wisdom that we're supposed to share with our words and our stories in the world. Stories change lives, yours and mine. So I'm excited, obviously, to be here. Um, this book will be a journey, like I said, August 22nd through September 4th. Then we will all go home. We will write. We'll be coached with our writing wrangler who is here. Ruthie Souther is going to be helping guide with Laura DiFranco your writing process. And we have Tina Green, who is also part of Freedom Folk and Soul, who is going to be along the journey, helping in every way. So we have an amazing team assembled, and we'll be doing interviews. This is a leadership training. And then in January, our book, Shaman Heart, we are the ones we've been waiting for. We are the ones we've been waiting for will come out in January of 2025. So I've shared a little bit. My name is Stephanie Urbina Jones. I am one of the 3 lead authors of this book. I'm also the co-founder of Freedom Folk and Soul. We are here to awaken the new earth and to guide people on their journey of healing and empowerment. And this is our 3rd book in the series. I want to turn it over to Jeremy to say a little prayer. There's the two books that we brought to life, Shaman Heart, the very first author's journey, I think maybe that I've ever heard of. We led in the pyramids of Teotihuacan, turning pain into passion and purpose with 25 authors. And then our second book in the series, Shaman Heart, Sacred Rebel. We led another second journey to Teotihuacan. All these people here were along on those journeys. They were incredibly powerful for each one of us. It's one thing to write a book, it's another thing to take a journey to into the energy of that narrative and to awaken and to write through that. And so I'm really grateful that Laura's here. She's going to share in just a second. But before we get started, I wanted Jeremy to bring us in with a prayer.
Well, hello everybody. Like Steph said, I'm Jeremy Pager. Was part of, co-author on the second book and part of the first book that we did in this series. And what I want to say about this is it's like doing three journeys in one. There's the journey that we actually take, which is to Peru, which I don't even know if words can describe the potent, powerful medicine that Peru is. Even just coming back from Egypt, which was like its own, incredible thing. I am like more excited about Peru. It's just got an energy and a subtleness. And to the minute that we got to Peru last time, we're like, we need to do a book here, and the dream began with Jorge back then. And so I would have to say out of all the many places I've been, it's probably my favorite place thus far. And so super excited about Peru. And then there's this whole process of writing, for each of us, it becomes a different process. For me, it was a real healing through the trauma of, when I was younger and not thinking I could write, or leaving the school system thinking, well, based on that system, I wasn't smart, which was really not true at all. It was just how I learned. And then there's the whole process of putting the book out into the world, and it truly is a journey of, it's a 6-month journey. And even the first book, like that group of people are still communicating and still processing with each other. And so it really are groups because of the journey. And I can't even speak to other groups. Our experience of our groups, I think, because we come together in the journey and we do all this, they just get really tight, really loving, really supportive of each other. So in Freedom Focused Soul, we like to bring ceremony to everything. And so I am also co-founder of Freedom Focused Soul and been in the healing arts for, I don't know, a long time now, 22 years or something like that. Um, and, have my life is it, and so um, just going to invite us. I'm going to light the smudge here again. I lit a bit when Steph started, and just invite you to close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath if you can, and you're not driving. And taking another deep breath and just allowing our attention, that's been hooked by all the things, our to-do lists, our houses, our driving, our businesses, and just bringing that attention into our heart for a moment. And as we take a breath, allowing, feeling that expansion of our lungs, kind of expanding our hearts, and really dropping into the energy of what this book is. We are the ones we've been waiting for. And the potentness of the messages that will come through each of the writers, each of us, in, to me, bringing forth what has been our transformation. We believe, Freedom Focused Soul, that we are our own healers. We are our own medicine men, our own medicine women. We are the ones we've been waiting for. We are our own salvation. So just feeling into that for a moment, this potent book, that the people that will pick it up, the ripples that will potentially move from this book to whoever picks it up, each and every one of those people um, that reads that story that inspires them to step in to their own personal freedom. And to taking another deep breath, feeling that for a moment, and then taking another deep breath and calling in our helpers, our guides, our spirit keepers, our angels, our ancestors, all of the unseen beings to come and be here with us and to be part of the birth of this creation. Whether we choose to step in as a writer or not, let it ripple out. Those that listen to this video and those of us that are here. It's taking another deep breath and just allowing yourself gently to come back into this space.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Welcome, everybody.
I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Thank you. Well, you guys, we wanted to take a moment. We did an informational Zoom a few months ago, and our publisher was not able to be there. Jorge was on there, Luis Delgado. So we've invited him to be the third lead author of this book. That's an unusual thing, but because he's such an important part of the storytelling and the information and the ceremony of life, and he's in such an inspiration to us. We wanted to invite him to help co-lead. Today he could not be here, but he is in the other informational Zoom, which you can watch and get a sense of Jorge. You're going to love him. But we really wanted to do this to introduce you to our publisher, because it takes a brave soul, creative soul, to be holding this vision of what she has done now with 70 best-selling books, all with the intent of words change lives, and they are. So we wanted to, Laura is going to be with us on the journey, and she will be guiding us, which you cannot even imagine yet how powerful that is. So we wanted to have her share just a little bit about her experiences and what inspires her about this journey. This is our publisher, who we love and respect, Laura DiFranco of Brave Healer Productions.
Thank you, Stephanie. Every time you talk about Peru, I get full body goosebumps.
Yeah, baby.
Waves of full body goosebumps every time I hear you talk about it. Um, you were the one that came to me and said, and we had been doing these books, and you came in as a chapter author into our Sacred Death book with Hamali Vora. And after that, you came and you said, well, I want to do this big thing where we take everyone to Teotihuacan and we do this healing adventure. And then we come home and we, do this book project. And I was like, yes, it was a hot yes. And it was so magnificent. Then I came home on the plane from that trip, and really all I could think about was like, how do we do that again? Like, how can we do that again? And it was, why was it so magical? Well, coming together as a group to do that beautiful healing work together, of course, I have dedicated my whole life to the healing journey, and I already knew how important that was. So to combine that kind of work with the publishing work just produced an other level energy and book, actual product. So we went the second time. We're going to be in Peru for the third book in the series. I'm completely grateful and honored that we're going to be doing this again. I know that it's going to be a transformational experience from so many different angles. The travel itself, the project, the storytelling, the figuring out that story that the world does need to hear from you, maybe that you're still a little afraid to share. And I'm so excited about this trip. We have this week we're celebrating title number 75, so we're going to up that number from 70 to 75. And something much bigger than me has been running this show. Like, how could that even happen, right? And I've just been running around following the breadcrumbs from the universe and here we are 75 collaborative best-selling titles later. And that is a big community that will carry this project beyond its publication. Your community from the books that you have led, Stephanie and Jeremy, my community that's come around for all of the different kinds of things that we've been up to. And it's so much more than a book project. Beyond the publication of the book, we are creating something big in the world. The vision of all my healer friends coming together to do this together is, makes what you said about this rebirth of the new earth very palpable and real to me. I see it happening around me. And when I get to be here with you all to help guide these kinds of things, I'm just like, wow, who tapped a magic wand on my head and gifted me that beautiful, beautiful gift. So here we are. I cannot wait to get on that plane, but we'll do a few things before we get there, right? What else do you want to know, or what other kinds of things do you want to cover today?
Well, I would love for you to share the inspiration of kind of where the story of how you started Brave Healers, because I think that that source point of your creativity, your desire to serve love and to find your way, and how your words touched one person that then invoked this industry now, stories that are touching the world. How share that, how your story did that.
Oh my gosh, there's a couple pieces of the origin story here, because Brave Healer Productions was a side hustle second business for me for 5 years. And I kept telling people I was going to transition, how people talk about that and then they never do it. I was just afraid to release the physical therapy aspect, my bread and butter. But a couple things happened for me in 2016 when the business was born. It wasn't a full-on publishing business yet at that point. It was getting there. I had already published a lot for myself, and I have 13 published books for any of you who are curious about that. I'm also a poet, and 5 of those books, actually 6 now, and Nydia is in our 6th poetry book. So I had done a lot of publishing and I knew I wanted to help people do it, but I met somebody online, and I think it's the Shirley story that you want me to tell, Stephanie. But while I was getting all of that together and establishing this business, a stranger reached out to me on Facebook Messenger. Stranger I had never met before, and said, I read that thing you wrote on, at the time it was a blog that I had written on Mind Body Green. It's a big health site. She said, I've been struggling, and I was wondering if you had more for me to read. And I had written over 300 blogs at that point. I love blogging and done a lot of writing. So I dropped a couple of links. I answered her back. I'm like, yeah, of course, hang on a minute. And I grabbed some links and put them in the messenger for her. We chatted a little bit, and I learned that she was a mother of 5 and had been struggling a little bit with some depression. And after I dropped a couple of those links, I decided to kind of walk away from that messenger, and I wrote and dedicated a blog to her anonymously and asked my healer audience to step up in the comments. It was a blog about self-care. I knew she had been struggling. And those people did step up. They stepped up in a big way. They put some love and support and advice into the comments. And I was able to take that link and go back to the messenger and drop it for her. And I said, here you go, read this one. And I think she probably felt connected for the first time in a long time. She went forward to writing her own 2 blogs. She joined my community, did a class with me, and wrote a couple blogs, one about being a mom and really struggling with depression. And the second blog was a call out to other moms like, hey, if I can do this, you can do this. And while all of that stuff was happening, I only found out later that she had actually been planning the suicide note she'd write to her husband and 5 children during that time. And she was so brave to reach out to me, to a total stranger, to say, hey, do you have anything else I can read? You know, since that day in 2016, my whole world changed in my mind about my boring fears in terms of what I was doing about storytelling. And I realized that if I could change or even save someone's life, I better get over it. It's not about me anymore. It was about the work I could do to move through my own stuff to get to a place where I could share in a way that would help someone shift somebody, help them shift their energy or their mindset or their perspective on life. I still thank Miss Shirley for coming into my life and being brave enough to message me out of the blue. She and I are friends. We've met a couple times. We still keep in contact. I keep track of her and her hubby and her 5 kids, and they are doing well. And that is like a miracle. Like, if that's the only thing I ever do with my writing, I'm good. It's enough. I'm good for this lifetime. So I've taken that energy and I've inspired other people with it. I remind you, there's Shirley's looking at your stuff. They are paying attention. You may not see them, they may not be brave enough to reach out, but every time you're brave enough to share something that's authentic, that's a real story, that's your process, they're watching, they're listening, they're reading, and you are shifting people's worlds, right? And that's what these books are. Yeah, big, big, big way with the books. So
Thank,
it's
thank you.
hard to make that a short story, but
I,
it's
I wanted every bit of that. I wanted
Mm,
people to hear it
mm.
and to feel it because it touched me. And it reminded me, I know, like, I'm a songwriter. So, I mean, people have asked me if they could use my song when their husband was passing from this world to the next. I've sang at weddings, I've sung it. And then when people read words that have come from my heart, from my story that I was so afraid to share, and they're touched and inspired in whatever way, I mean, I just want people to have, you know, I can remember only 10 years ago longing to live a life of meaning and purpose filled with passion. I couldn't even imagine living the life that I'm living now, and that every day that it's filled with that, with all the things that we have the privilege of being a part of. And what I've witnessed on both of these authors' journeys is that when people show up and embody their lives and lay it on the altar of a journey and an experience, and we're witness together and we walk together and we transform together, and Peru, Nydia knows this. Peru is like a gym. It's a spiritual gym. Teotihuacan will take you deep into, it's like a roto-rooter. Peru is like going to lift you up to see above the dream and to live that, energetic vibrational story and to carry that. So thank you, Laura, for your brave words and inspiration, and for creating this, you know, this container that we're all, walking in. We have a few people on here. I just want them to share just a few words. First of all, she's on the road. You can see her bouncing along. Ruth Souther is an amazing priestess and shamama and a dear friend. She has been with us on both of our shaman heart journeys and is our writing wrangler priestess. Is going to help guide you in that process if Laura's not available at any moment, or me or Jeremy. And I just want her to say hello. Say hi, Ruthie.
You're muted.
You're muted, Ruthie. Do you need me to channel you? I don't know if Ruthie will be able to join us, but she's amazing. And I look forward to y'all getting the chance to meet her. She's a gift and a blessing. And we also have Tina Green, the self-love queen. She came on our first book. She'd just been working with Freedom Folk and Soul for a few months when we invited her to join the journey. She did the first book, she did the second book, and then she became the lead author of her own book, which I'll let her share with you about. And your experience, Tina.
Oh, gosh,
Help.
you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had such incredible experiences writing. I've actually written in 4 Brave Healer books. One was my own, and then the other one that Steph didn't mention was called Rites and Rituals, Harnessing the Power of Sacred Ceremony. And that was written, led by an author that was on Stephanie's first journey. So it has rippled out in a lot of ways. um, but my experience on the journeys, really, it's just like such a portal, really. That's what I can say. There's so much of it. The journey itself is, meant to be transformative in so many ways. But then when you combine that with all the other people who are on the journey who you just get such a soul connection with, and you combine that with writing your own story, sometimes, sharing it for the first time, with the world, and writing it and having it be part of a physical book and being published in that way, it's powerful. It is such a powerful process that, that's why I've done it 4 times. And that's why I led my own book. The book I led was The Life-Changing Power of Self-Love. And it just came out in November. And, in really comparing, the being a part of a book that doesn't have a journey, it's still an incredible experience and still a portal of transformation. Um, but the journey up levels it so much. It just really connects all the co-authors, and it like deepens your own personal transformation so much. Like, even, in many of these books, there have been master teachers as co-authors. In my book, there were quite a few master teachers writing in my book, and for them, it was a portal of transformation as well. So it's just, I'm really grateful to Laura for creating this and pulling us all in, and I'm grateful for the experience. It has been it has been life-changing for me.
Thank you, Tina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you guys, I just want to redirect you guys. If anybody has any more questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're available for one-on-one Zooms if you want to feel into if this is a journey for you. We have a few spots left, and we've been very discerning about who we've shared it with, because we know of the nature of who is going to be called to share their story and be a part of this field of healing energy and narrative that no doubt is going to affect, and as Jeremy said, create that ripple of inspiration of who we are in the world, where we are, and where we're going. What is calling us in the collective to awaken, to become what is possible. I don't know about y'all, but I need that dream. Give me a dream of what is possible and where we're going at this crazy time on the planet. So that's what we're here to do. Again, the journey actually to Peru is August the 22nd through September the 4th. The book will come out in January of 2025. Reach out if you have any questions. We have a link with all the important information. Is there anything else you wanted to say, Laura or Jeremy?
I'm going to tell people who understand the collaborations and what we've done from the beginning till now that there are leaders in my world who go an extra mile, extra step with these projects. And Stephanie and Jeremy promote and market past the launch more than anybody I've seen. You come into a project that is a journey and an adventure with them, and it is other level for multiple reasons. I want people to understand that there are benefits to the project that last well beyond the book publication. And becoming an Amazon best-selling author is a big deal, especially to someone who's not a published author already. And while we don't use the word guarantee, I've done it 75 times in a row now, so that will happen for you. I also think that people aren't thinking sometimes of the benefits of the business building and networking you can do in a community of over 2,000 heart-centered, amazing, badass people. So I look at this like, oh my gosh, there's so much icing on this cake, it's hard to talk about it. There's so much icing on this cake, you know? And we're doing the cake, but even the cake is other level cake here. So I hope you all, you know, if you have specific questions about your story, you own all the rights to it, by the way. If you have questions about the investment, about the benefit of purchasing and selling your paperback copies of the book, I'm around for that. There are interview benefits that you will get beyond, right? We're going to promote with author interviews. We're going to coach your writing and your bestseller launch process so that if you want to become a solo author later on, do your own thing, you'll have the tools, the resources, and the people around you to help you make that successful in the future as well. So I didn't want to forget to mention some of this stuff because it makes your investment so worth it. The ROI on this journey will pay over and over for years if you allow that to really sink in about what we're about around here. I mean, again, not to mention the journey itself, the project itself is like, whoa, you know? So this one is like, oh my God, it makes me spin again, full body goosebumps.
Thank you for saying that because it's
Yeah.
like hard to translate and I forget like every single author, I've watched their life and all their relations, including their business life, awaken and illuminate and stand up and march forward because that's what happens. It's like a 6-month journey. It's a professional and
Personal.
personal transformational journey. You know, it's crazy when people look at like a price tag of something and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm like, no, this is like they didn't have like a graduate school for people like us. This is your graduate school. This is your education that is going to prepare you. And I'm glad you said that because I want to say, you know, Laura, we have a website, shamanheart.org. The books and you as a lead author will be on that website along with your interviews. So you can, if you don't have a website, you can guide people there to get to know you. That's something that we do to support you. We're also going to be doing across the country at least 3, if not 4 to 5 with Jorge, maybe with Laura. If she can make it, we're going to be doing journeys with the authors in those areas to bring the book and the messages out there with Jorge because he's an international teacher. So we'll be doing one in Northern California and Texas and Nashville and hopefully in the Northeast and who knows else. And it's my intention, and I'm just going to put it that far because I'm a musician, we're going to be doing a song and we're going to have all the authors' voices woven into the song that we will release. That's the next level of this book that's going to be coming out this next year. So again, that's just a part of it. If you have any more, you know, questions, don't hesitate to reach out. We know that you'll be called if this is for you.
It's
I
like,
just want to say something. Oh, go ahead.
well, I have to laugh because she's talking about the cake on top of the icing. I'm like, it's like one of those old wedding cakes with the 27 tiers. What happened to those? Those were so cool.
We have so much fun. We
And,
forgot.
and I do think even if you are a published author, there's benefits. I mean, I've watched quite a few published authors come in and do these book projects, and a book going to a bestseller status really elevates all the rest of their published books
Yeah.
out there. So
Yeah, I have to comment on that one because that's the flip side of it. If you guys are a published author already and you come into a group like this and you're launched in a community of not only, a couple of dozen new friends, but also 2,000 other Brave Healer authors, all of a sudden you will have book sales on your stuff because we're interested in getting to know you and we want to buy your book as well. So this is a very unique marketing opportunity for an already published author or business owner. It's a really good way to look at why you would do this thing
Mhm.
because you're going to have a whole new community of eyes on what you've done in the world and your work and your books and your stuff.
yeah, and
Thank-
even teachers and practitioners of this work, it not to be what's the word I'm looking for, but to say, well, I'm a best-selling author elevates. It gives you more credibility
Yeah.
in the terms of the world per se. So yeah,
Tina, did you want to say something?
yeah,
Yeah, I wanted to second what Laura was saying because I kind of left that out of my thing. But man, I launched my business because of this. I have built it over the last 2 years significantly, and I've made contacts and relationships that are now collaborators with me, like really deep relationships with incredible people that I would have never met if it wouldn't have been for this book. Maybe I would have, I don't know, but it feels like this book has brought things to these books have brought this process has brought things to me from just expanding my world of people and you know amazing people that I'm now connected to, and
Well, thank
not to mention the amount that I learned from, about, launching my business and writing for my business,
Well, thank you for that,
yeah.
Tina, and that is honestly, I would say at the heart of who Jeremy and I are, and I would say for me, I can't speak for him, but my greatest joy I have found as a teacher is holding sacred space and ground and creating ways for people to come alive and to heal and to come into who they were born to be. That is my mojo, what makes me wake up and dance every day. So if you're interested, you guys don't hesitate. I want to do one more shout out to Ariana Platten, to John and Julianne, who led an author's journey to Egypt, and just our community of people, to Seth and Angel, the people that are continuing to awaken and share their words in a brave way as well. And of course, our co-lead author, Jorge Luis Delgado. You guys, he's magic. We're so incredibly blessed to be traveling with him, to be having him as a guide and a friend and a leader at this time on the planet. He is a blessing. I've had the privilege of studying with a lot of amazing master teachers, and this is one of the most humbly gracious, wise, and wonderful beings to learn and grow from. So thank you, Jorge, for saying yes to being our co-leader on this amazing adventure. And thank you, Laura and Tina and Nydia and Jeremy and Ruthie and all of y'all. Don't hesitate to reach out. If you want to become a part of Shaman Heart, we are the ones we've been waiting for. Bye, y'all.